This is very touching, I tell you. And one reason I relate with this, because it's a time I was longing. Hunger is very... You don't have language to describe the pain of an empty stomach to a child. To a child.
Yeah, it's
you know, they shiver. It's more cold when you're hungry.
Yeah, it's tough. And then suddenly, as a country, yes, we have the resources, because I remember in 2019, because we're also wanting to empower people, you know, this idea of, that is why we want to be sustainable, where if someone eats in a restaurant somewhere, if you open a restaurant and someone eats there, then it's able to feed a child, as opposed to depending on donations all the time. So, you know, a cut from whatever those people have eaten there goes to feed the kids. Because in 2019, I remember when we went to Turkana to give out relief food, because I love listening to people's stories. So I went to the farthest of the villages, somewhere, Liye, you know, a number of villages, just to do the distribution. And I remember having conversations with most of the locals, and they're like, you know, the relief food really reaches us, because most of the administrators just hijack it and take it to their homes or sell it. And yeah, it's really a sad situation. But when I went there, I also got to know that, to learn that they do something. You know, even the old mamas, they weave very nice baskets.
Oh.
They make very good quality baskets, laundry baskets. And I remember when I went and they gifted me one, and I just shared on my socials. I said, you know, how about you guys just buy these baskets from these women so that they can have money? You see, when you have your own money, you can be able to budget with it, whether to buy food, you know, right, take your kid to school, go to an hospital. So I said, how about you guys just buy this from them? And people gave orders, and we brought a whole lorry full of those baskets to Nairobi, and yeah, people bought them.
You did?
Yes. And we are hoping that we can be able to do that, just to export, so that they can get more, so that when we do it once in a year, if it is exported once in a year, the money is much more for them, so that they have something to take them through the year, you know.
Man, you have a very... That's a very, you know, touching calling, and you're really touching lives directly. And you're saying those children, they know gratitude. You're saying one of them was looking for you to just say thank you.
Yes. And they always say that even when we are serving them, you know, you serve a kid and they say thank you.
Wow.
Yes, it's usually so touching. Some of them come for addition. Oh, they always come for, the interesting thing, the tiniest ones are the ones who come for addition, the highest number of times. So you're looking at them, they're tiny down there, and you're like, okay. And they're very innocent, but they have come back. So you have to just serve them. So it's usually interesting, very interesting experiences.
So you provide the flour, and the schools do the preparation.
Yes.
And how did you pick the schools?
So the schools mostly are as a result of people just reaching out and saying, oh, there's this school somewhere. Or I'm also into Rotary, so when you travel across the country doing projects with Rotary, then you're able to see a school and you're like, okay, let me get to know the story of this school. Then you do a needs assessment to know which percentage of kids come from less privileged background, so that we see if we can be able to support that. And then when we have the resources, then we just, because once we pick a school, you don't drop them. Unless they mismanage whatever. There are schools we have cancelled because of that.
Mismanagement.
Yes, mismanagement of the resources that we give, because either they're not providing the porridge daily. You pop into a school and you're like, the kids didn't have porridge today, and you brought the flour and the sugar, and you're like, we're not doing that. You know.
You're right. Yeah. Tell me about you guys. It takes a lot of faith, as you have said, to believe that next week I'll have enough. To provide this.
Yes.
And if I was sitting where you're sitting, I'll be thinking of becoming the manufacturer for my main commodity.
Yes.
And even to package it the way the companies are packaging it. But I'm also thinking of the companies that manufacture this. Do they give you donations of flour? Have they learned that you exist? So they can give, like the guys you've mentioned, the companies I see, the packaged Uji flour and all that. Do they give you donations? Go there and mention also our name or something like that. Do they do that?
They rarely do that. I think in 2018 is when the one we buy from. Actually, in 2018 they were giving like, I think 200 kgs every month for free.
Wow.
But so when their management changed, and they have a whole new board, and the company was sold to other people, so it became kind of tricky, because it's a whole. That decision has to go at the board level for it before companies have a lot of red tape.
There's
a lot of red. for every decision that a company needs to make, it has to go
That's
through a
true.
board approval, and it's sometimes they really feel the pain of it, because you might be talking to the CEO and they're like, the board has to approve, and if the board says no, they have no power.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we can only hope that you guys can do this for longer.
Yes, we are hoping that we could do that for longer, and even as you have talked about making our own. The problem is getting support for the sustainability aspect, maybe even if it is setting up the restaurants, or even if it is farming and having the ingredients that we want and packaging. Support for that is always not really easy to get. You send out requests for that, telling people, we need to be sustainable going forward, we need to stop depending on donations, but for people to fund the sustainability aspect of charity is usually very true.
No, let me tell you something.
Yes.
People buy into people. They don't buy into charity organizations.
Yes.
Now that you are here, let us believe it.
Yes.
Because you said you're being supported by Kenyans, now you're being watched by the world. Here we are in Africa and beyond the world and all that.
Yeah.
And I've heard people who privately reach out and say, I can see you a sincere person. In case you see a case of like this, let me know.
Yes.
I tell them we have more than we can report.
Yes.
We have more cases than we can report.
Yeah.
And I feel good when I find a person like you who they can relate with and say, at least I can see a person who they are themselves pouring themselves out.
Yes, and we even invite them, even for the companies, when they give us donations, we are like, no, it's not just about money. Can you have your staff coming to have an experience of what we do? Get to see how the porridge is prepared,
right,
get to serve the kids, get to interact with the kids, get to listen to their stories, just get to know them.
You're right.
It should go beyond just giving money and giving donations.
Let there be a human interaction.
Let there be interaction so that you are able to interact with, okay, yes, I've donated, but this is what my donation is able to do.
That's right.
Yes.
And if I was, because I can see you're a leader, born leader, you have a need, you have a hunger, a drive, a change you want to drive. And as you have seen, as organizations grow, you must move from just a compassion to having a global view, a bigger view. And those things you've mentioned of having a factory and a farm, they are very possible.
Yes.
The same way you have come all the way 10 years.
Yes.
Even there you can reach there, so that now it's a self-sustaining, so that you can pay the staff.
Yes.
And you can even, I'm imagining a packet of Uji cold this way in the supermarkets.
Yeah.
So there to give you money to pay your workers.
Yes.
The rest of it
goes into feeding the kids.
And people know this is cup of Uji when they purchase this.
Yeah.
I'm doing charity somewhere.
Yes.
I'm also imagining a place when kids close school, you can give them part of the flour.
Yes.
They take Uji at home.
Yeah, especially when, I remember when COVID hit, we were all confused.
Right.
Because schools were closed and we were asking ourselves, now what? Because we've been feeding kids in school, now they're at home. There's nothing. The situation is pathetic at home. That is why you are feeding them in school. So we started asking ourselves, what can we do? And we at least we got support during that period, such that we were able to reach out to the families with food supplies. We were able to give them flour, rice, beans. We were doing I think a package of 2,500 shillings per family, and we were calling the program Be Nice KE because it was just the short form of Be Nice Kenya, so it was Be Nice KE.
Yeah, right.
And it was one of those very interesting learning moments. I remember we went to West Pokot, and it was a very interesting journey. Now, the journey for West Pokot was interesting in the sense that we had, before then, there were some floods that had hit West Pokot. But I remember the current president, who was then the deputy president, had visited there. So I thought, now that the government has visited, I know the bridges I've made and everything. So we assumed that we didn't really do the inquiry about it. Then we get there, and the bridge is not yet made. It is late in the evening because we were getting the supplies from Kitale, so for them to get to Kapenguria, and then they were held at the border between Kapenguria and Kitale because the county, and I was like, this is a company lorry, why are you holding it? There had to be a lot of communication between Nairobi and them. So when we got there, and then we were like, okay, we didn't come this far to now stop here just because there is some flow of water. And
You're right.
So I said, no, because we can't go back. We've carried supplies for families on the other end. And we've come so far. So he said, okay, so I can see local boys here. So I called the local boys. I told them, you guys know the deep ends of this water. So this is how you're going to help us. You're going to stand on those deep ends on both sides. And then we pass in the middle. And that is what we did for, I think, we passed like, I think 4 places.
To show you where not to step.
Yes, yes. So they would stand on the side, make just a line in the
They
water.
know the river that much?
Yes, yes, because there are locals there, so they know their rivers very well. Yeah. So that is how we survived it. We passed 4 places, similar places, and yeah, we made it though we arrived at 8 p.m. in the night, but we were like,
That was very great.
Yeah.
And they were happy to help?
Yes, they were very happy to help.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the communities down there appreciate?
Yes, they do.
Wow. So tell us your social medias and how people can send you their donations.
Okay, so for social media, Kapovuji is there as Kapovuji on Facebook.
Okay.
On Twitter, it is Kapovuji Kenya.
All right.
On Instagram, it is Kapovuji.
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, it is Kapovuji.
You're right.
So when you go to, especially for our Instagram, there's a link that you just click, regardless of which part of the world you are in. If you click on that link, it has all the donation options that you can get.
Wow.
But for those in Kenya and are able to use the pay bill, we have a pay bill, which is 891-300.
Yeah.
And then the account number is HOPE, H-O-P-E.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And man, I my hope is that even your personal businesses and your family life. I was teasing you that
story for another day.
you have too many children to feed.
Yes.
You have too many lives depending on you. You can't afford to marry carelessly. You're a community man. Marriage will be a community decision. If you marry a person who is antagonistic and you're taken away, how many lives? If you are dragged away and now you can no longer do it. My prayer is that you find a person who is like you.
Thank you.
Who believed. Yes. And you know the age group not to marry, right?
Which age group is this
you
one?
know the girl must be at least how old? 25. And you know she must be looking for a husband, not romantic escapade.
Yeah.
You know she must have the heart, not just the body.
Yeah.
And she must appeal to your soul, not just your senses. Senses are loud.
Yes.
The soul speaks in whispers,
Yeah.
but it is speaking the truth.
Yes.
Senses shout, they crave, you feel palpitations, you feel
and it's only short term.
and you feel storms.
Yeah.
And while the person should be attractive, the attraction should be coming from some place deep.
Yeah.
And that the baton you are starting now, my hope is also that many people will pick it up.
Yeah.
They learn that you can actually help while you're living your life.
Yeah, true.
You can live your life, you have businesses.
Yes.
And you said your fulfillment is to see a child smiling.
Yes. That's the greatest joy. Just seeing them happy. You know, we walk into a school and then they call me Kapovuji when they go walk into those schools. When they're saying me, they're like, Kapovuji. They see me, they're like, Kapovuji. I'm like, oh goodness. So, yeah. So, just seeing them happy and appreciative of the fact that whatever little we are able to offer to them in form of breakfast, in form of porridge,
you're right.
They appreciate.
You're right.
You know? Yeah.
And I'm happy that this is something that has capacity to grow.
Yes.
To grow. And let me tell you the truth, I have learned from Equity Bank. They incorporated charity as part of their strategy.
Yes.
They just got communities sponsoring those kids and giving them wings to fly.
Wings to fly, yeah.
Kapovuji.
Yes, we are building lives. That's
this
our
is
motto.
Strength to walk. For them, they may be giving wings to fly. But this one, you can find a kid who has no strength to talk.
Yeah.
Who has no strength to stay awake.
Yeah, that happens.
I know that from inside.
Yeah.
From home to school is a long way. Forget now them arriving there and exerting energy to study. They can't study. They can't remember. They can't memorize. But if you give them, and breakfast, if they tell you you've studied, the most important meal. Yeah. Because the day is ahead. Yes. You need energy for the day ahead.
Yeah, for the day. Yeah, true,
you know,
true.
We value the other way here, supper, and yet ahead of you just sleep.
Yeah. You need to be on a relaxed mode. Yeah.
Supper should be lightest.
Yeah.
The breakfast should have as much energy, and my hope is that one day you get your own meal,
Yes.
even just one machine
Yes.
in some place,
Yes.
and one packaging setup,
Yes.
so that you can put what you want
Yeah.
in the flour.
Yes. Yes.
Even if you are going to purchase some of the ingredients, you purchase this and the other, then you mix it in the proportion you want.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You package it.
Yeah, because we definitely love nutrition, because we have volunteers who are nutritionists who are qualified, so they are able to know what.
And my hope is that you get enough support financially,
yes,
and even technical.
yes,
I hope that somebody in China can hear this and say, I can send the meal.
yes,
The machine.
yes.
Somebody
or someone says they can provide the land which you can use for that,
And wherever it is, because you guys, I can see you are all over.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wherever the land is.
Yeah, yeah.
You dig your well there,
Yes.
you irrigate there, and then some of the flour you sell it in subsidized
Yes.
to communities that
Yes.
can pay just the cost price.
Yes. Yeah.
And they get the unga, they use it for their places,
Yes,
and
yes.
eventually I'm sure you'll also step up to the other one for ugali, for the pesta, for which is also rich.
Yes.
So that lactating mothers, because before the child come to school,
Yes.
there's another stage there.
Yes, yes.
So you may want now start targeting pregnant mothers, expectant mothers.
And I know we've done that before. There's an organization actually we partnered with, because they were reaching out. They work with pregnant mothers,
Yes.
so they were like, can you just support us with flour, Yeah.
So I'm looking at the possible scope of your work.
Yes.
And I'm looking at if you're able to get from A to Z.
Yes.
So that I saw these guys called Compassion International. They they sponsor children, and they identify when the mother is expecting the child. They start taking care of the child inside. The mother to eat right, to have a fairly comfortable pregnancy life,
Yes.
not to overwork because of poverty and pressure. They are forced to work very hard,
Yes, yes.
which threatens, which really interferes with the development of the child.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that a time will come, because what makes the mothers work hardest is food.
Yes. True. All of us work for food. If God created the world and our stomach didn't need food, no one would be going to work right now. So all of us are waking up in the morning. The only thing that inspires us to go to work is because we need something to put in our tummy.
Can you imagine if in those places where you guys have presence,
Yes.
you also have outlets,
Yeah.
so that the expectant mothers in the community
Yes.
can get unga once a week.
Yeah.
Once a week they
Yes.
can come,
Yes.
get a 10 kg pack maybe.
Yes.
Tell them in the morning, if you take this, it has given you energy.
Yes.
Even if the stomach is not full the whole day, your body.
Yes.
Because here people don't understand.
Yeah.
Porridge may be light,
Yes.
but the nutrients you
We
need,
need. Yeah.
they can be there in full measure.
Yes.
So that there will be no kwashoko,
Yes.
no.
Yeah, they're able to give birth to healthy children.
And that part, I'm told, that part is the most critical.
Yeah.
The development.
Yes.
The child needs the right nutrients.
Yes.
Even for development.
For the brain to develop. Yeah.
That is my wish for you guys.
Thank you.
That you target from A to Z.
Yes.
And that you reach a place where even if you don't have a strong presence in a school,
Yes.
even if you cannot be there every day,
Yes.
you can partner with willing people and tell them this flour will sell to you at cost price.
Yes.
Just cost price.
Yeah.
It costed us 5 shillings per kg.
Yes.
Give me 5 shillings.
True.
You get that?
Oh, that goes a long way. That definitely goes a long way. Yeah.
So that you're telling them, you guys in Garissa, I may not have the manpower to come there,
Yeah.
but I have the best flour you can find anywhere.
Yes.
Because I make it for this group.
Yes.
And because they need it, the
Yeah.
county government, if you can do that for us,
Yes.
let's partner.
Yes.
To tell you, please supply us this year.
Yes.
Sign, this is a check.
Yes. True.
I hope that you go
That goes a long
across the country.
Yes.
The other places like Kwale, it's very needy.
Yeah, I know. I've gone to Taita Taveta, and I remember having interactions with some people from Taita Taveta. It was their needs assessment, but we're still not yet able to roll out there. But I went there, and then I was also being given people from that place were sharing about the conditions in Kuala, and I was like, kids fainting and all that stuff because of hunger.
Kids fainting.
Yes, and it's real. Hunger is real.
You're right,
Hunger is real.
I'm describing what I see you guys being able to do, and
actually, as a result of even the work that we do, we always encourage. I always encourage the team I work with. If at the point that you visited a school and had interaction with the kids, there's something that is weighing heavily on you, you can be able to share, because mentally it is also sometimes heavy.
Right.
Yes. Even
mentally.
for the team, it is sometimes heavy, because
Right.
they're like, we have so much wherever we stay, and for this kid they only need this, and even just listening to the stories the kids share and everything, it might be overwhelming for even the team sometimes. So I tell them, be free to share, and we see how to help you in that mentally also as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to help my people to make some donation.
Okay.
You have said you have a pay bill.
Yes.
I want to show you how to help these guys right now when you have the moment. And you said it is pay bill.
Yes, it is pay bill.
I want to see how it works. All right. The pay bill was a simple number. It was what?
891
891
300.
300.
Yes.
Very good. The name is coming. Wait. I'll tell you. You said account is Hope.
Hope. Yes.
Hope.
Yes.
I've done Hope, and then I'll be given here to put the amount. The funny thing, it's not the amount you give.
Yes.
It's the
impact.
Sometimes people wonder, no, if I give 200, how many people will it help? Now, I only have 100, surely.
And we tell people the 10 shillings, people are like, how do you tell people to give 10? I'm like, it is because it is not only you giving the 10 shillings, there are other many people who are giving the 10 shillings. So that collectively goes a long way for these kids.
Do you know, I want to remind people that
Yes.
it's not what you give, is what you remain with.
Yeah.
If somebody gave 200 and that's all they had,
Yes.
that's a bigger sacrifice.
Yeah.
If somebody gives 1,000 and they had to take it painstakingly
Yeah.
from something that they know is a stretch.
Yes.
If somebody gives 50 shillings, so sacrifice is about where you were standing and how much it took a stretch to give.
Yeah.
And we are not minimizing that we must always be in luck to give.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
In fact, part of my hope, and I was telling my wife, she has a very charitable heart like yours.
Yes.
But life limits you.
Yes.
Sometimes you're tied in a career.
Yeah,
I was telling her, don't wait until you can start your children's homes. They are
Yeah,
sincere guys.
I usually say the rallying call that I usually use is that, you don't have to reach to the 100 I started with or the 5,000 we are at. You can reach to one kid. There might be just one kid who needs assistance with homework. Like we have CBC right now.
That's true.
There are students that stay with grandparents who are not literate and they need help with their homework. You can just walk across the fence and help them. It doesn't have to take you. Sometimes I usually tell people it doesn't have to cost you to make a difference.
I like that.
Yeah. So
please give me the pay bill again. This one was
891
891
300.
300. Then it is Hope.
Yes, the account is Hope.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm using direct SSD. The other one was in trouble. So now, let me see what we have. Yeah. M Changa.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
2000 for account Hope.
Yes.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Very
Thank
good.
you.
So we are saying, guys, you can give whatever amount you have,
Yes.
knowing to go to a child's. The hardest part, Francis,
Yes.
as you might have noticed, many people are willing to donate. They just don't know about the sincerity
Yes.
of the agents, of the administrators.
And that is why we invite them to visit the schools. That is why we always encourage people. Walk into one of the schools, because we always share the list of the names of the schools and their location, so that you can just walk into the school, walk into the teacher's office, say, I want to see the kids at Kapovuji is feeding in this school. You won't be denied access. No one denies you such kind of access. If you just walk genuinely and tell the teacher,
That's right.
I understand there's an organization called Kapovuji that have been supporting your school.
And the guys from Australia and all over the world who will donate for you
Yes.
will also share photos of work going on.
Yes.
Because that's also another way to include each other.
Yeah.
And guys, I don't know how much you can spare, but think of that child who you could spare from fainting today, who you could give them a hope to hold on another day. Think of 10 shillings is enough to feed one child. I don't know how much you can spare, but it can be today, it can be monthly. There are some people who they don't have floating cash, they have to budget.
Yes.
If you say, end month I'll give this guy 500 shillings.
Yeah.
Imagine you're fed. 500 seems like small money for a normal Nairobian.
Yes. And Nairobi puts a lot of pressure on people.
And then you're fed 50 kids.
Yeah.
Or one kid for almost 2 months.
Yes.
And thank you, man, for that initiative.
Thank you.
If you're seated there and you're thinking, what do I do? If you ever doubted whether you can make a change during, because I've always told them the years of mastery, the years of self-differentiation, at 20 to 30, that's when you find out the path of your life. And that's what you have done, man.
Yes.
The lives you've touched.
Yeah.
But I can also know by the laws God has set in motion, having poured your life out, my brother, you never lack.
Thank you.
You will always have. Even by now, you have proved. You would run out of resources, and you know it's tomorrow. If I don't get resources in between, we are stuck.
Yes.
And then you sleep in peace knowing I'll find resources in the morning. And the morning you find notifications. You're wondering, who did this? It was not me. Somebody did it. And I think some people have already experienced that. What God said, that those who give to the poor are lending to
the moment I've had that. Because before COVID, we used to have an event called Hope Alive Kids Fest. So we used to hold it in Homa Bay County for the kids in both the two schools. So there are over 1,000 kids.
You're right.
So every 12th of December, which is a public holiday. So it's just a fun day. The kids come, have fun. They play football, play all manner of games. And then we share meal with them. We share breakfast with them, snacks. And then we prepare lunch for them, have a meal with them. And then we also invite the community to also join us, just to see the various talents that the kids have.
You're right.
I think there was a year. There was nothing.
Wow.
But even my team didn't know there was nothing. Everything was set in motion. They were working, they were planning. I was sending them places, go do this, do that. Wow. 2 days to the D-Day, you know. The kids had already been told when they were closing school, because, you know, by then schools are closed, so they only come for that event.
You're right.
So 2 days to the event, I'm like, where? The money is not there.
Wow.
So I had prayed about it.
And it's not small money.
Yeah, it is not small money. So I had prayed about it. So I said, okay, let me. So I take my phone, then I email a friend of mine, then I'm like, by the way, I'm planning some event for kids, because my friend knows the event. We normally have it every year. So I'm planning this event, but we are zero. And they're like, okay. Then the conversation just ends because we were talking general stuff. And then the next day, the accountant to that friend calls me and is like, so-and-so has told me you needed some funds for an event and you needed this amount of money. Can you pick it up?
Wow.
Yes.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Sorted.
And you have a whole event very successful, no one knowing that there was no money.
What if you feared and retracted and retreated? You know?
So yeah, so there are those moments. There are those moments where you, just at the nick of time, God does His thing, you know. So
that's why in some of these things you can only walk by believing.
Yes.
That you'll be helped.
Yeah.
That you're not doing this by yourself. Yeah. And that whoever created these kids wanted us to do what you're doing.
Yeah, true.
And He cannot disappoint you.
Yeah, sometimes I even make a deal with God. I'm like, God, if I fast for a week, you're going to provide this money. So the deal is, I fast for a week, prayer and fasting, then you provide.
You're right. Wow.
Because I'm like, it's God's
so can you
thing.
And take that faith to the degree we have mentioned?
Yes, you're definitely going to get there.
Self-reliance.
Self-reliance. Yeah, because we would also love to not depend on donations every now and then.
And when you're buying from the really shelves, there's a lot of markup.
Yes.
It's more than double the price or triple even.
Yeah.
If you did what the company is doing.
Yeah. It would really reduce the cost.
And I've told you the funny thing is, do not imagine big buildings.
Yeah. No, just a small place. You know.
That electric mills, that's a very small thing.
Yeah.
And you package over there.
Yes.
Standardized packaging.
Yes.
And then you have a car already.
Yeah.
Even starting from there, you can find yourself the raw material purchasing is way cheaper.
Yeah, because now you're buying in bulk.
Yes. You go to the farmers.
Yes.
You can go to the farmers and buy
That's also another empowerment, because you are giving them ready market for their produce.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you find guys who are reliable, you sign that year.
Yes.
I'll get from you.
Yeah, for the whole year. Yeah, true.
You know?
True. Yeah, true.
And that way, you can simply get trucks.
Yes.
Your truck, even just one truck,
can
move all over those schools.
Yeah.
Imagine the D-Max. I always see them carrying a lot of lorry, a lorry, but a pickup.
Yes.
So imagine you having just one of those.
Yes.
And you can rotate and do your things.
Yeah.
I hope that you find courage to expand this. I hope that you move from 5,000 to 50,000 to 500,000. I hope that you'll be in every county.
Yeah.
I hope that you'll be felt and you get self-sustaining mechanisms.
Yes.
So that you can multiply it until you not only now need stuff, you simply partner with At the ground, you go to a school and partner with them.
Yes.
You are the distribution point. Once they bring to you, other schools will pick from here.
Yes. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I hope that you find favor with the right people.
Yes.
Those who love kids and they want to feed them.
Yes.
And personally, in your businesses, how can people contact your businesses?
No, in my businesses, now we don't have, unfortunately we don't have a website for the business. So
a WhatsApp number or something. If somebody wants these hoodies out there, get them?
No, if they want these hoodies, they can just reach me because I'm also on social media. So they just send me a message,
Through Cup of Uji, through what?
No, they can either send to Cup of Uji because there will be someone who will be responding, and then they can also send to my personal social media handles. I will always respond.
What is the name of personal social media?
I use all my 3 names on all social media. So
yes, okay.
So you'll find me as Francis Otieno Amonde.
Okay.
On Instagram, on Facebook, and then on Twitter at Francis Amonde, and then on LinkedIn Francis Otieno Amonde. So yeah. I'll always respond to messages. So
thank you so much for coming, man.
And thank you so much for the opportunity to share. It has been awesome. It has been awesome and humbling and a good opportunity.
You will be called to many more.
Thank you. I meant that one.
The world will see you. Yes. And people will be saying, let me assure you, that many people like me are looking for sincere.
Yeah.
That is the problem.
Yeah, that is why I told you Kenyans are only willing to support an initiative if there is accountability. Yes. And we understand. That is something that even us, we understand, because no one wants to give to a place where they're not going to be accountable for the funds. So I understand that aspect, because
and it is coming to a place where,
but it's also unfortunate because it denies people who are doing genuine stuff the right resources to do whatever they're doing.
Because all of us have seen people squandering.
Yes.
But even if people don't give all their salary, let me tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Me and another 100 of us, giving you only 1,000 per month. 100 of us, 1,000 per month.
Goes a long way. Goes a long way.
You see that?
Goes a long way. Yeah.
And the salary guys who don't have a lot of money, I ask them to just commit a 5 and say, this year, I want part of my 500 shillings per month.
Yes.
And they tell their bank, because they'll find banking details there.
Yeah.
I have a standing order this year only for 500 shillings.
It goes a long way.
It
goes a long way.
And quietly, you can find common people have big heart but small money.
Yes.
They assist.
And that is why we encourage people to do the 10 shillings, because as many people as possible doing 10 shillings goes a long way.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And may you be expanded.
Thank you so much.
That's all for today, guys, and see you next time.